International Women's Day commemorations advocate for justice, hope, and dignity. In this feature, Andrea Rochford shares about how we can all break bias and promote equality among all. This special feature was provided by Assuage Business Development Limited.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Andrea Rochford, and I am the owner and senior consultant of Business Quality Systems. We're an organization where we basically help businesses with software implementation, accounting software, finding other software, databases, websites, you name it in the software and tech industry, and we are a company that can help you. I am actually also a wife to Randall Douglas, a mother to two beautiful children, Alexandria and Ray, and two lovely dogs as well. And basically just a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago trying to do what we do.
Break the bias. Let's embrace and promote a gender-equal world. One that is free of bias, stereotypes, and discrimination. A world that is diverse, equitable, and inclusive, where difference is valued and celebrated.
So, as I said before, it's a wonderful thing. I realized I really enjoyed being an entrepreneur from a young age. I worked at a company called The Source straight out of high school before going to university. And we used to laugh and say that Peter Quentrell Thomas made entrepreneurs because somehow the people who worked for him went on to become business owners. He really encouraged us. I remember him putting Rochford International Company Limited before I thought about owning a company. So I have actually gone into business now for 25 years. After one of my bosses told me that they saw me as a consultant rather than as an employee. So I am really, really proud because we have been able to build this software technology company and really have the reputation for implementing successfully in a field and an area where very often, IT, you always hear about failed IT projects, but I would like to think that our company has managed to change that and managed to implement successfully through the years and managed to maintain our client base. The same clients that I started with, some of them 25 years ago, are still my client today. And I'm very proud of that.
For a peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable world, gender equality is a necessary foundation.
What bias in the industry have I overcome? Well, traditionally, it's interesting. Computer programming and computer software was not really known as a field of women. I remember back in the day when I was at university, it was considered unusual that I was a good programmer in my class. And I remember Kalitran actually commenting on it to me. But I didn't know where that was. My grandmother had taught me how to program. The two of us learned how to program together. I learned my first if statement with her. She would have been in her 60s, I guess, and we both learned programming together. In terms of bias, really, I think the biggest bias was that when I go into an IT department for the first time for one of my clients, it tends to be full of young men. And even when I was younger, and well, now I'm a little older, they usually are a little surprised that I am able to speak to them and work with them and speak their language. So that is the only thing I think that has been a little surprising. I've had people tell me that, they find I operate like a man. I'm not quite too sure what that means, but I guess at the end of the day, that's what that's what it is. I think it just needs to be forthright and operate and do what you have to do and get it done. I think to promote equality is really about ignoring if we are a man or a woman. I know that sounds a little odd, but for me, that's when I really work best, and that's when I find other people work best. I think it should be irrelevant if we are male or female, utterly. So, an example, when my children were ill, it wasn't that it was always that I took the time off or my husband always took the time off. We really split it up, and who was able to take the time off at that time, and we would swap out and share the responsibilities. So at the end of the day, it is really about seeing each other as people. It's not about male or female. It's just about recognizing what's happening with the job, what can get done. Do you have the tools? Do you have the personality to get that particular job done? And it shouldn't matter whether you are male or female. It is irrelevant. I remember when my daughter was doing social studies at 7 years old in primary school, and they were trying to teach them gender roles. And she was very confused because she had explained to the teacher that mommy and daddy did everything. I vacuumed, daddy mopped, we both washed wares, things like that. We both worked, we both picked them up. She didn't quite understand it. She said the only thing different was that daddy never combed their hair, but he would wash their hair. So the teacher tried to explain to her that the roles must be different, that those gender roles have to be different. And she said, Mommy, I just told the teacher what she wanted to hear, but I know from looking at you and daddy that is not the case. So how we overcome that bias is really ignoring the fact of that male and female and doing what needs to get done. I would like to say that I am truly, truly honored to ask to speak on Women's International Day. I am so happy that we honor women. I am so happy that just my little piece, that if I could somehow help women in the IT field, know that it is possible, know that you can achieve whatever you wish to achieve, that there are no boundaries. The people who have helped me have been both male and female, and I thank them. And I especially want to honor the strong women in my family, starting from my great-great-grandmother, Amy Henry, her daughters, Esme, who is my grandmother, and then my mother, Kathleen. There are so many strong women in my family, I cannot even list them all. And I am so happy honored that I could speak just a little something today. And I hope it encourages someone out there.